Hello students. Today we are going to do a poem O Captain, My Captain written by Walt Whitman. First of all, I would like to tell you the origin of this poem O Captain, My Captain. It was supposed to be a time of celebration. A nice April breeze was blowing through the straits. The Civil War had just ended and the North had won. The slavery was on course to be abolished. And then the shot rang out. Abraham Lincoln was dead. It was just 6 short days after the end of the war. A nation grieved, and Walt Whitman, poet, grieved with them. O Captain, My Captain became Whitman's elegy for Abraham Lincoln's. So, students, what is an elegy? An elegy is a poem that mourns the dead. O Captain, My Captain is the only Walt Whitman poem that has a regular meter and rhyme scheme. Often hailed as the father of free verse, Whitman tended to write his poems without following any kind of ordered poetic form. However, O Captain, My Captain is organized into 3 8-line stanzas, each stanza with an double A, double B, C, D, E, D rhyme scheme. Each stanza closes with the word fallen, cold and dead. Now students, I have told you the rhyme scheme. You just pick up pencil, keep book in front of you and you start finding out the rhyme scheme and see that whatever the rhyme scheme I have told you, does it match with your rhyme scheme? And in your poem you will find out that the first 4 lines of each stanza are longer than the last 4 lines. So because this poem is an elegy to the dead. Okay, again I'm telling you that an elegy is a poem that mourns the dead. So all of you first of all give a silent reading to this poem. Then I'm going to take one stanza of this poem. So let's start.
So here we have a slide of first stanza of the poem that I am going to read. Afterwards I will give you the explanation of this poem. First stanza. O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wreck, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting. Exulting means celebrating. While follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. Keel means frame supporting the bottom of the ship or boat. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck of my captain lies, fallen, cold and dead. So in the first stanza, the speaker, a sailor, salutes his captain. He reports that their voyage is successful and nearly complete, and that the prize we sought is won. As the ship approaches port, the speaker describes the bell tolling and the celebratory crowds gathering. But in a sudden shift, the speaker exclaims that his captain has fallen on the deck, cold and dead. Actually, in this stanza, their hard journey is over. The ship has survived every storm and they have won the prize they have been fighting for. The port is close by and they hear bells ringing and people celebrating. All their eyes are on the steady ship, that bold and brave vessel. But oh, my heart, heart, heart. Oh, look at the drops of blood on the deck where my captain is lying cold and dead. So in this stanza, so many poetic devices are also used. I'll be discussing all the poetic devices with you later on. I'll be giving the explanation also of all the poetic device. So here I have given you the meaning in simple words of stanza 1 only. So let's proceed to stanza number 2. Okay, now my dear students, concentrate on stanza number 2. Let's read. O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung. For you the bugle trills, for you bouquet and ribbon wreaths. For you the shores are crowding, for you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you have fallen cold and dead. Now, in this stanza, there is a difficult word, wreath. Wreath means garland. Okay? Now, in the second stanza, the speaker implores his captain to rise up and see the crowd eagerly rejoicing in his victorious return. As the speaker tells his captain, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, and for you the shores are crowding. Again, the tone shifts as the speaker acknowledges that his captain has fallen cold and dead, but expresses hope that it is some dream. So, in this stanza, the poet is saying, get up and listen to the bells. Get up. They are waving the flag for you. They are playing the bugle for you. They have brought bouquet and wreaths with ribbons for you. Wreath, again I'm telling you, wreath means garlands. All these people are crowding on the shore only and only for you. The swaying crowd is calling for you. So, who is you here? It is Abraham Lincoln. And all the people's eager faces turning towards Abraham Lincoln. Here, Captain, my dear father. So, here the speaker is considering Abraham Lincoln as his father. So, that's why he says, here, Captain, you are just like my father. I'll put my arm beneath. Beneath means under. I'll put my arm under your head. I must be dreaming that on the deck you are lying cold and dead. Now, students, let's proceed to stanza number third. It is very much touching. So, let's read. My captain doesn't answer. His lips are pale and still. My father doesn't feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I with mournful tread walk the deck, my captain lies fallen cold and dead. Now, in this stanza, in the final stanza of the poem, the speaker examines his captain, whose lips are pale and still, who has no pulse or will, though the voyage is complete and the ship safely harbored. The speaker is racked with grief. He calls for the bells to be rung and for the crowds to exult. But he walks with mournful tread. The deck my captain lies fallen cold and dead. So in this stanza, the surprising thing is that his captain is not answering him. His lips are pale and unmoving, and his father doesn't feel his arm beneath his head. Since he has no pulse or consciousness, the ship has anchored safely and its journey is over. After this hard journey, the victorious ship has returned with its prize. Let the crowds celebrate. The bells ring, meanwhile, slowly and sadly walk across the deck where the captain is lying cold and dead, as the captain is now no more. He is dead, lying there. Okay, now student, you will come to know that in this poem so many poetic devices are used so beautifully. So first of all, you should have the clear idea what are basically poetic devices. Poetic devices serve as a tool to project hidden meanings in the text. With the help of poetic devices, the poet equip their simple text with powerful impacts on their readers. Now, in this poem, personification has been used so beautifully. See, first of all, you should have a clear idea of what is personification. We use personification to give human qualities to lifeless objects. See, now the mournful tread, he has been personified because he cannot live without his captain. So that's why mournful tread has been used. And he has also personified shores. You can see line number 21 of your poem, exult, O shores. the shores are depicted as a human being, as they are alive and as they are going to blow trumpets of victory. Now, second poetic device that has been used in this poem is imagery. Imagery appeals to the five senses of the readers. Now, the poet has successfully used visual imagery. You can take the example cold and dead, lips are pale and still, bleeding drops of red, mournful tread. So, these words are the crystal clear example of imagery, because Whitman has a different kind of choice of powerful words that has made the reader visualize the death of the captain. By reading that poem, one can visualize the actual death of Abraham Lincoln.
Okay students, now I'm going to tell you about the next poetic device which has been used in this poem, that is an alliteration poetic device. As you have done alliteration poetic device in class 6th also, in class 7th also. So alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sound in the same lines of the poetry. Now in this poem we have example of flag is flung. So F and F has been repeated, you can see. After that safe and sound, this has been used in first stanza. So S and S has been used. So it is a great example of alliteration.
Now, the next poetic device that is used in this poem is metaphor. In this poem, there are three extended metaphor. As you can see, the first is captain, that is used in the very first line of the poem, and this captain used in the first line, but that runs throughout the poem. Now, who is the captain here? That is Abraham Lincoln, who loses his life in the battle. After that, the second metaphor that is used in this poem is voyage. And voyage, this word is representing the civil war. The journey of the voyage is full of tests and trials, but now the ship is nearing the port, represents the timeline of the civil war. After that, we have third metaphor, that is a ship, and ship is representing the United States that has undergone the civil war. Now students, we have page number 54, in which MCQs and questions are given. So these MCQs and questions I am going to give you as a homework. These answers will be discussed in your Zoom class. So first MCQ we have, what consequences had come upon the ship? Now you just think, is it a great stress, or is it a death, or bad weather, or everything was just right? Now this is a query for you. And what is will being used as? Spirit, dead and gone, alive, or all of the above. So this is a query that this is for you, and now you have to find out all the answer. You just jot down all the answers in rough. You just give your points. I will be discussing some of the points with you in Zoom class, and we will discuss all the question answers, and there will be a two-way interaction. I will be interacting with you, and you people also giving me answers. Now there are two more important questions of think and answer part. All of you find out the answers of these questions, and you have to elaborate these answers in detail. Okay, so these answers will be discussed in Zoom class. This is your homework I am giving you. Hope you understood this poem. Thank you and have a nice day.